Hi, this is Ralph Carlson from Ralph Carlson Blog, your touch point for building your unique retirement lifestyle. And I'm going to talk to you today about procrastination. About a year ago, I was writing a blog post about procrastination and arguing that procrastination isn't necessarily such a bad thing, that there are times when procrastination is protecting you from doing work that you don't need to do, or is kind of a signal from your subconscious that maybe you're on the wrong track. But I was thinking about the post. I went back, tweaked it, did a little rewrite on it, and then I started to think about, does it really work in retirement? Is it something that's only useful when you're working? And so I went back to look at it, and I'll just summarize what the points were that I was making about procrastination in the job context. And I was thinking basically of two situations. One that you've probably been in, just like I have, where your boss wants you to do something, thinks it's important, puts it high on his priorities, but you know that it's really not going to matter. You don't need to do it. It's not a big issue, whatever. So somehow or another, it just never manages to come up on your top priority list. So other things get put ahead. You're using your time better. You're getting things done that really matter. And in most cases, works out just fine. The boss either never notices, never is called, for that thing to actually be there. So it's not a big deal, and it works out. The other situation I was thinking about was when you set a task for yourself, and thinking in terms of maybe you decide that you want to go and get a master's degree. So you look around, you kind of look at the costs, you look at what the benefits are, what's going to work out, and you decide, yeah, I'm going to do it. It may take me 2 years. It's a lot of time, money, and so you start. But as you get started, maybe you see things differently, maybe conditions change, but somehow the benefits don't pan out quite like you thought they were going to. Maybe the jobs aren't there and as readily available as you thought they'd be. Maybe the promotion isn't such a sure thing. Maybe there's not that much money involved in any of those two options. So you kind of look at it and you think, I started this program. I'm not a quitter. I don't back off on things. But on the other hand, the benefits aren't really there. So maybe you just defer it. I'll do this semester. I'll get back to it next semester. It kind of puts you in a situation where you don't say to people, I quit that. I'm not going to do that. It's just that you have different priorities. You're going to get back to it. So people, you won't think people were going to think negative about you from doing it. So those are the two situations that I felt were cases where procrastination was actually a good thing. And I was then looking at, is it only the job situation that works? And I conclude it's really not. That the same sorts of forces operate when you're retired as when you're working. You maybe don't have a boss that's telling you what to do, but maybe there are things that are kind of constraining you, kind of pushing you to go in different directions that aren't really where you want to go. Maybe it's just sort of society expects this, or your family expects that. Your friends look at you and say, you ought to be doing this, that, or the other. And you're having a conflict with what maybe expectations are, what maybe you think you ought to be doing, and what you really want to do, what your heart's telling you to do, and so you procrastinate. You don't move in those directions. You don't put those higher on your priority list. You go someplace else and do other things. And likewise, you're gonna maybe commit to particular tasks. You're maybe going to commit to some program, or maybe you're going to learn golf, or maybe you're going to take painting lessons, or whatever it is that you're going to do. You get into it. It's not giving you what you want. It's not taking you where you want to go. It's not fulfilling you. And so rather than quit, you defer. I'll go, I'll pick that back up later on. I just have some other things I have to take care of right now. So again, I think procrastination is kind of a good tool to keep you focused on what's important for you. And I just like to close with an observation about procrastination. Is, a lot of these things, sometimes you know what you're doing, sometimes you don't know what you're doing. But if there's something that you've got on your list that's supposed to be important, and somehow or another you never are getting yourself focused on doing it, then that's a good time to look at that task and do a little deeper analysis of what's going on there. Is it that the task is something that makes you very nervous, makes you uncomfortable, pushes you into areas you don't want to go? But when it comes right down to it, it's something that you have to do. It's something you have to break through, and you do it. So then the procrastination is something you've got to push over and fight through. But if, on the other hand, you look at it and you say, it really doesn't do what I was wanting it to do for me, and there's really no reason to go ahead and do it. So you can take the procrastination as a signal, but you have to also be careful about whether you're avoiding something because you're really very anxious about it, and yet it's something that you have to do. You have to push through because it's an important step in your progress. Or if it's just something that's there, not that important to you, and might be better just to clear out. So that's procrastination for today. I'll be back talking to you again later.